Hey everybody and welcome back. This is episode number 2 of our Dark Souls 2 Revisited playthrough. As you can see, we've now given it an official title. The playthrough didn't have a title on my first playthrough until after I already rendered it out and edited the video. So we are calling it Revisited. We could also call this Second Chance or Reevaluated or Another Look, because what I'm doing here is playing through the game again and really trying to give it a second chance. Even though it's not second, it's more like 10th or 15th or 20th chance, but trying to look at it again after all of the initial issues I had with the game, after, you know, all the complaints I had, and just give it another chance, try to see if maybe it's not so bad. Maybe, you know, the game isn't really a problem. You know, maybe it's not the game that's so much the problem. Maybe it was me. Maybe I just wasn't ready to handle it. You know, maybe I had, you know, some other things going on that were distracting me. Or maybe it was just my initial impressions of the game were negative and I wasn't able to give it a second look. So that's really what we're going for here. Oh, shoot. Yeah, don't try to parry. Wow. Yeah, the timings on this the PvP in this game are terrible. I mean, they're absolutely awful. Well, there we go. We got a parry. He's gonna run off and heal, just like me. Wow, I can't believe I actually won that. That was incredible. I mean, oh, whoa, I'm totally not prepared for PvP at all. Completely unupgraded weapon, you know. All I really did was run and get the knight armor set. So let's hit up the bonfire. I'd really rather not get into much PvP. My intent is not to evaluate PvP. My intent is quite simply just to play through the game and evaluate the experience of the game. So what we might end up doing is we might start going offline to do it, just so that we don't have the concern of the interruptions of PvP. Now normally, you know, in a game like Dark Souls or Demon Souls, excuse me, I rather like the experiences of PvP. But in this game, not so much. I'm a very, very big detractor when it comes to the PvP. I feel like the PvP in this game is just absolutely atrocious, and I haven't really changed my opinion on that yet. I don't think I'm going to, really. You know, I've played it so much at this point through all the various patches that I just don't think it's really fixable to my preferences. And that's putting it nicely. Ultimately, if you ask me, you know, to speak candidly about it without any refrain, without worry about sounding too negative, then I will basically blast the game's PvP for being just overall bad for a variety of reasons. But we won't get into that too much. It's really not about the PvP so much as it is about the PvE experience, which, in my opinion, has its issues, a lot of issues, and we'll address those as they come up, and we'll see if maybe, you know, I can have a different opinion of it this time around. Maybe I'll realize it's not so bad. In many of my other playthroughs on this channel, in my FoxeoGames channel, I would set a sort of a topic to discuss. I don't necessarily know if we'll be doing that, because the topic here is really supposed to be about Dark Souls 2 and the game and reevaluating the game. So I don't necessarily want to give myself a topic separate from the game. Like with my Bloodborne Whip It playthrough, I'm really talking about the early internet, the days of the early internet, and that's really not directly game related. So this is mainly going to be a discussion about the game. Alright, sorry if you hear some clicking noises or moments of silence. That's me clearing my throat and coughing. Getting some seasonal allergies here, unfortunately, and that's just how it goes with me. I get seasonal allergies all the time. Yeah, it's examples like this where I feel like the game's bad controls really show through. When you're in the thick of it and you're really needing to be precise, I feel like I can't be as precise as I want to be. Alright, and again, I want to rely more on life gems than I used to, simply because I have such a limited amount of Estus. That was one of the things I didn't like about the game, still don't like. I feel like the Estus is just too limited, you know. Starting the game out with 1, and then being able to get 2 from the start only if you know where to look is just extremely limiting. Even just having 2 Estus is too limiting, in my opinion. But, hey, at least if you know where to go, you can grab another Estus right away. What I might do also is look up where the Estus shards are so that I can make sure to grab all of them as they as they come up. I don't want to miss any of them. I consider it really important to get them all. They do make a big difference in how easy the game can be, or enjoyable in my opinion. You can of course constantly buy the life gems, but I don't really feel like they should have done it that way. I feel like they should have either gone with the Bloodborne or Demon Souls system where it's all consumables, or they should have gone with the refillable Estus system. I feel like trying to combine those two didn't actually work out, and a lot of other people agree with that. It's almost as if they didn't know what they were doing. Like they wanted to do the Estus system, then they limited the Estus system to make it more difficult. Then they realized it was too difficult because it was too limited. Then they threw in consumables to try to make up for the limitations, and ultimately it kind of feels messy in the end. It's like, is this really about consumable healing items that you can stack, or is this about a refillable Estus flask, refillable potions? And ultimately it seems like it's really about neither and both at the same time. Really bad at parries in this game because I feel like they're just really, really poorly timed. I got lucky with that PvP parry earlier. I very rarely get parries in PvP, so I feel like it was mainly luck that led to that more than anything. Today's drink of choice, which we're almost out of, is lemon mint tea, which is now roughly lukewarm. Alright, let's get up on to this guy. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Did you notice that? Even though I was facing this guy, it immediately turned around to actually lock onto the guy behind me. Little lock-on issues. All of the games, all of the Souls games have had various little lock-on issues. And one issue you'll notice, if you haven't already, you'll notice after I tell you, is that if you try to lock on to an enemy that's even just ever so slightly around the corner, it oftentimes won't work. Or if you try to lock on to an enemy that's inside a room with an open archway or doorway and you're outside the doorway, oftentimes it will not lock on properly. Oh shoot. Oh, I got lucky there. Just little lock-on issues. And the other issue I have with the lock-on in this game is it's very kind of floaty like the rest of the controls in the game. It's really hard to get the lock-on to be accurate. If you watch this, watch my character, see how I face away? So watch what happens if I attack at the same time. See? I attack away from my target, then I instantly shift backwards to turn back to my target. Something that doesn't happen in any of the other games, that I've noticed at least. I've never noticed that happening in the other games. And something that causes you to constantly attack in the wrong direction, especially during PvP, which is very frustrating because ultimately the tactic, of course, people are going to say, well, wait a second, you know, just wait a half second before you attack. Yes, that's true. The solution is to wait a very, very brief moment of time, but when you do wait that very brief moment of time, what you're doing there is slowing down combat. Makes everything feel a little slower, a little clunkier, a little more almost laggy, actually, and it just becomes less enjoyable overall, in my opinion. Of course, but then again, everything I say is, for the most part, my opinion, unless I state otherwise, so hopefully I don't need to say my opinion on everything. I like this armor set. I think it looks good. I think it has decent stats. We'll replace it with the Elite Knight armor set, and that'll be our in-game set for the game. We're not going to go with anything crazy here. See, I got into this menu so fast on the PC version that I nearly accidentally bought something. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It's way too easy to accidentally buy something because you just fly into the menu screen so fast. But that's just a feature of the game being so quick and responsive in the menus. And what they actually should have done is, instead of having delays in your combat, they should have had a slight delay when accessing the menu. So as soon as the menu pops up, there needs to be an ever so slight delay so that you can stop spamming the action button to get through the dialogue. Because watch what happens here. I'm spamming to get through the dialogue, and boom, menu comes up. And the menu is instantly responsive, so if I keep spamming, I can actually end up accidentally buying a broken straight sword and wasting 400 souls. They should have had a very ever so slight delay there so that you don't have to worry about accidentally buying something in the menus. Just a little tidbit for those aspiring game developers out there, little things that you should be aware of. And, you know, I don't know if they always teach you that in programming classes. I haven't ever taken any, well, I have taken some programming classes. They weren't specifically game programming classes. But I did take, I thought there was an enemy hiding around here somewhere, isn't there? Yeah, right there. Oh, shoot. Yeah, see, and the game's just kind of slow to respawn compared to the other games in the series. It's definitely the slowest of them all. So it's hard to get used to. Constantly feel like there's this awkward delay between when I hit a button and when something happens. There was a ever so slight delay in Bloodborne, it wasn't as bad as... it wasn't really that bad. The only reason the delay is so noticeable in that game is because the game is so fast-paced and twitchy. And so the more twitchy and fast-paced a game is, the more you're going to notice the little tiny bits of lag. And there's our Estus Flash shard, thank goodness. It's not there in the Scholar of the First Sin version of the game. So really, Scholar of First Sin, more than anything, is about just kind of switching up the placement of items and enemies more than anything else. Which, as I said before, I highly suggest that if you have not gotten into Dark Souls 2 at all, do not opt for Scholar of the First Sin. I know it's the version available on the 2nd gen, or on the 8th gen consoles, 2nd gen consoles, wow. On the 8th gen consoles, I know it's the version available on the 8th gen consoles. If you want to play Dark Souls 2 on PS4 or Xbox One, you gotta do Scholar of the First Sin. Don't. Trust me on this one. Get it on the PC if you can. It just performs so much nicer on PC, but if you have to, buy a 7th gen console version and you've got both consoles, just be aware the Xbox 360 version has horrible screen tearing but a better frame rate, and the PS3 has a much worse frame rate but no screen tearing. Well, it's not, the frame rate isn't that much worse, it's just lower in general, noticeably lower. And then the PS3 version also had various issues which I think have been fixed, but it did have issues with slow menus and very slow loading. Now maybe all that slow menu loading would be resolved by having a totally disk-based, or I'm sorry, download version of the game, where you can install it to the hard drive. That's me setting my mug down if you hear that little tapping noise in the background. But also make sure if you've got the Xbox 360 version, install it to your hard drive. You should be installing pretty much all your games to the hard drive as much as possible. They perform slightly better in the sense that they should have faster loading times. You shouldn't have as much of a concern with loading times if you're loading from a hard drive. Whoops, I can't believe I did that. I love how the game lets you load the same place you just left. I guess that's my fault for doing that. First time I played through the game, I totally missed that first bonfire in the Forest of the Giants, or Forest of the Fallen Giants, whatever it's called. Yeah, Forest of Fallen Giants. Totally missed it. It is possible to blow this wall open. I've done it many times, but I'm not 100% sure on how it's done, so, you know, I just kind of get it by chance each time I do it. I just kind of throw fire bombs at it until I get lucky. I'm gonna wait for this guy to come up here. If you approach him, that other dude will get up at the same time, so. One thing I really miss is not being able to parry so well. Oh, there we go, I got it, okay. I've endlessly tried to parry. I'm just endlessly, for hours and hours, have tried to master parrying in this game, and it just doesn't ever feel right. And so I've never gotten entirely comfortable with it. Therefore, I don't really rely on it very often, because essentially I end up missing too often to make it worthwhile. If you try to parry twice and miss once, most likely you'll find that it was worth not just trying at all. Like, you really need to be very consistent with your parries to make it worthwhile, otherwise you're just taking lots of unnecessary hits and having to compensate for the loss of health. Whereas like in Dark Souls and Demon Souls, I can parry a lot more often because I can do it reliably, and I know that I'll be able to use it as an effective strategy and not take much damage, if any, most of the time. I get nearly all of the parries. The other problem with this game is, and I see it as a problem, is because the poise system is virtually broken, doesn't really work very well. If you do miss a parry, oftentimes you'll get hit twice because of the lack of poise. So you're not just taking a single hit, you're taking 2 hits because, you know, you get hit once, they stagger you, they stun you, you get hit again, and then you can back out. So it's not like you miss a parry and just take 1 hit. Oftentimes you'll miss a parry and take 2 hits. We could try to tackle the Pursuer, although, you know, more likely than not, we're just going to end up missing. Or I'm dying, sorry, not missing. I just realized I should have brought a firebomb so I could blow that open over there. I don't think hitting it alone will cause it to blow open, and I don't think using a Witching Urn will cause it to blow open. However, I have noticed that it's nearly impossible to get this guy to throw a firebomb at it. Like, he just doesn't ever seem to throw a firebomb at it, no matter how hard I try. Yeah, see, he always tends to fall short. Oh, shoot. Okay. I think for our next level, we need to do 1 or 2 more points into adaptability to get our agility up. And then after that, we'll be golden. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Whoops. Did that at the wrong time. Almost guard broke him. I gotta remember that this game has a guard break. That's something that does not exist in any of the other games, so it's easy for me to forget that it even exists. I'm gonna take out all these enemies so they don't interrupt me while I'm trying to get him to blow up those barrels. Although, like I said, I've never actually gotten him to blow up those barrels. He just never seems to throw it far enough. I could try... Yeah, see? He can hit me, but doesn't want to hit the barrels. He gets so close each time. So close. Yeah, look at that. He's just purposely throwing short. Terrible aim, huh? There we go. How's that for taking some major damage, huh? Let's see. What should we do? Yeah, we'll go ahead and hit this. Regain our health and respawn. And we'll go level up. Again, apologies. I'm not going to go through the entire video and remove all of my voice clearing and coughing. I'll do my best to minimize it, but that's the curse of having sinus issues. Alright. Alright, Harold. Oh, are you kidding me, lady? You know, I'm going to just go ahead and get those. Wish it would tell you how many souls you get. That would be a really nice feature. My thought is this. After you pop the first one, just go ahead and include in the description how many souls it gives you. Because once you pop the first one, you know at that point, technically. So just go ahead and put it in there for us so we don't have to constantly go, wait a minute, was that 200? Was it 400? Was it 1,000? Was it 2,000? You know, you're constantly like, wait, what was that again? So just go ahead and put it in there for us. That's how I feel. It's kind of like the old RPGs of the past, where once you identified an item one time, you would know what it was from then on out. So the next time you saw that same item, you would recognize it, because you've already used the identify spell or the identify scroll. Let's see. Yeah, agility at 96. Yeah, we still want to pump in. See, this is what I'm talking about when I talk about when you put points into something and you don't really get... Like, I can put 1 point into adaptability, however, it won't increase my agility. Now, it does slightly increase health by a marginal amount, negligible amount, 990 to 991, useless. Poison resistance, bleed resistance go up ever so slightly, which is okay, but it's not going to make a big difference. Not really a noticeable difference for the most part. But I'm stacking adaptability until we get our agility to either 99 or 100. I do still have to look that up. I meant to look that up before this. I might actually Alt-Tab out of the game to do it. You may hear the game go quiet when I Alt-Tab out. Short bow. I do think I also want to put a bow on this character. I think I want to put both a bow and a sword. I think we're going to go ahead and use the long sword. Later on in the game, we may grab another weapon just because it's prudent in this game to always have at least 2 options, because your weapons break way too often. And repair powder this early on in the game is absurdly expensive. Yes, I did mean to actually travel to the same place. I'm trying to get Lenegras, or whatever his name is, the blacksmith, to show up. This will reset him to his default location.
And you are a man or not?
Okay. I know he gives you an item at some point. I just don't know when it is. Like, he gives you a Titanite shard or something. But I guess it's not right now. No, he's just cycling through the same things, isn't he? Okay. Let's do a buy item. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, see how repair powder is 2,500? That is very expensive for this point in the game. Longsword, broadsword, falchion, estoc, rapier, battle axe, mace, and spear. What are the stats on a spear? D and B, C and C, C and D, E and B. Sometimes I do think it's easier to get a straight up, like straight dex or straight strength weapon, just because you can, you know, pile all those souls into that one stat, not have to worry about, you know, doing multiple stats. But at the same time, most of the weapons I enjoy using are basically quality weapons. Many of them are quality weapons, or they at least have a significant strength component as well as their dexterity component. I think what we are going to do is a longsword. We'll need 1 point in dexterity, apparently. That's interesting. What is our dex to start out? 8. Okay. So we'll need 1 point in dexterity to equip it. That's fine. 1,300 and then about, what, 1,800 to level? So let's see if we can get all of those souls right now. Dragon Rider, we're not going to need, so we'll pop that. Yep, that gives us plenty right there. Oh, see? I almost bought that fast. You can get into the menu so fast. I find it fascinating that they allow you the option of buying multiple copies of a weapon at once. I mean, it just seems like you wouldn't do that often enough to even include that as an option, but they did, so. And actually, before we continue to level up here, we're going to do what I always suggest people do. And, oh, wait, we need our 1 dex point. Once you have the minimum stats for a weapon, your weapon of choice, then the very next thing you need to do, upgrade your weapon. Upgrade your weapon, upgrade your weapon, upgrade your weapon. Upgrade your weapon before you level, upgrade your weapon before your shield, before your armor, before you do anything else, upgrade your weapon. It is the #1 most effective thing you can do to make the game easier. The most beneficial thing in any of the Souls games, including Bloodborne, is to upgrade your weapon. I don't think anyone will disagree with that. That is, of course, once you reach minimum stats. You don't even need minimum strength stat if you're willing to simply, ooh, we have a Titanite shard already. If you're willing to two-hand it. Sometimes you can get away without having the minimum strength stat. We need 2 more Titanite shards, so let's buy those from him. I'm gonna buy only as much as I need each and every time, just to make sure I don't over-purchase. Now we need 3 Titanite shards. They're 800 each, so 800 times 3 is a number. Alright, let's see if we can get that number. Not yet. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, and then we'll need enough to upgrade at the same time. So how much is the upgrade? 200 or something like that? We'll try that for now and see if that works. We do have 1 repair powder, that's good. It's good to have at least 1. Although, if I'm not mistaken, your repair powder doesn't work if you've actually broken the weapon. If you've actually broken the weapon, you have to go to a blacksmith. Love the music in this area. I know people think all I do 750. Okay, I forgot they have odd numbers in this game. Like in Dark Souls, most of your upgrades were like, at first they were just 200 and then maybe like 400 or something. Twinkling Titanite upgrades were more expensive than other forms of upgrades. 750 is what we need. Yeah, that's plenty. So far, I'm gonna admit the truth. I'm having an okay time playing it. I don't mind, like I'm enjoying it. I got a little frustrated from getting hit by enemies when I felt like I shouldn't have, but, you know. Okay, so now we've moved into large Titanite shards. The good news is, we don't have to worry about upgrading anymore until we get to the point where we can access a large Titanite shard, and that won't be for a little bit. The bad news is, of course, we can't upgrade anymore. We could upgrade our armor, but we're not going to, simply because we're going to buy the Elite Knight armor set as soon as possible. That means as soon as it's available and as soon as we have the souls. So what I'm going to do here, and I do this in Dark Souls as well, is I tend to hang on to all my soul items. I don't immediately use them for... I don't know what the condition is for getting Elite Knight armor set, but we'll revisit him again and again. I don't pop my souls and just level off them randomly as I play through the game. I hang on to them, and I like to pop my soul items when I have a need to buy something or upgrade something. Like, I wait until there's a specific need for it. So right now, while I have soul items on me, I'm not popping them and leveling, even though I could. I'm hanging on to them for later. And that's a good tactic, in my opinion. I think you should do the same. My tea is now officially cold. Well, as cold as the room is. And I like to keep the room nice and chilly. We'll do some summons. If we're going to be online and get invaded, we might as well also have the option of summoning other players. I will say this, though. Of all the games, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, and Bloodborne, this game has the most reliable summoning system, and I cannot fault it. It's reliable, it works the majority of the time, it gives the least trouble, and it's just the most enjoyable to use for the purposes of co-op. So, can't complain about that. I mean, it gives you the best options for co-op. Still took 3 hits even though I've upgraded. But now we're at 2 if I'm two-handing. So that's good. Take that, sucker. 343. I do not like the fact that it's the backstab is like a 3-hit combo and all these things, you know, it's just kind of awkward. I'd rather just be very simple, 1 hit. Even though Dark Souls had the 2-hit combo, I do know about that, yeah. There he is, the man himself. Wait. Uh-oh. I'm gonna try to roll this guy and use life gems as needed. Ooh, nice. I love that little stabby attack. Doesn't do much damage on him, unfortunately. I've got most of the adaptability, or the agility iframes that I need, but not all of them, so I need to be careful. I'm still going to get hit when I miscalculate the iframes. I need to keep my stamina up. That's very important. Not to run out of the stamina. No more than 2 hits, or 1 R2. Oh, wow. Poise break. I also have to be careful because it'll drain the heck... Unless they fixed it, which I'm about to test here in a minute, once I'm out of this battle. Unless they fixed it, it drains your durability like mad if your weapon passes through your own summons, your own friendly phantoms. It drains your durability like crazy. Like, I was able to break a halberd, or halberd, however you pronounce it. I was able to break a halberd in 3 or 4 shots if it passed through my own summon. It was ridiculous. From full repair. Absurd. Ooh, poise break and got 2 shots on him. 2 shots. Oh, shoot. That would have hit me had I not gotten those additional... Oh, whoa, that was a really bad idea. I drained my stamina. That was stupid. Don't get like that. Just because he's low on health, don't break with your pattern. If you got a pattern that's working, stick to it. Yeah, buddy. That's the pursuer. The pursuer be dead. Alright. Where's this guy? There he is. Oh, shoot. He almost got me. Okay. I want to test something. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, good. It doesn't seem to drain your durability when you hit your own target now. At least it didn't seem to when I did it right then and there. Not bad. I do wish, though, that the one-handed R2 of the longsword was still the stab attack, though I think what happened is FromSoft realized that the longsword was pretty darn powerful. It was a pretty darn effective weapon. It really was. There's no denying that. And it was a starting weapon too, so it was really easy to just, you know, keep that longsword from the beginning, which is not the problem. It's not the problem that you could use it from the beginning. I think it was just a very, very effective moveset, very effective weapon. And I guess they decided to make it a little less effective, which of course I don't like. I like the longsword a lot. I like the thrusting one-handed R2 of the weapon. It was one of my favorite attacks. It was just so useful and awesome in so many ways. But whatever, they felt the need to do away with that. Those dirty rats. Alright, can I get in there? I don't think I can get in here, can I? I don't know why I did that. I knew that wouldn't work. You ever do that in games? Like you do something and you know it's not going to work, but you do it anyway? It still got me once, darn it. Titanite Shard, not bad. We can still use that for armor in the future, so, you know. Oh, that's... Okay, I remember now. Let him come in here, otherwise I won't be able to get in there and help you. Does he have a longsword too? Love the longsword. Just an awesome weapon. Yeah, take that, buddy. Hate the durability issue in this game. I would almost consider like a sort of hack if I'm playing offline, but playing online, I can't approve of it. It's cheating. I can't approve of a durability hack while playing online. If all it did was, oh, a large Titanite shard so quick? I didn't know that. Wow. That is so cool. Cool, bro. Cool story, bro. Increase physical attack. Well, gee, I should have had that equipped a long time ago. And then can I equip 2? Nah, you can't. Alright, well, whatever. Well, knowing that the life ring is so quick, or so close, I think in the future I won't even get the life ring if I play the game again. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of liking it right now. I'm kind of enjoying this experience. Got some people in my world with me. We're rocking the Casbah. That's an old phrase. That's from an 80s song. Some of you know what I'm talking about, and some of you won't. Hey, Pate, how's it going, bro? When do you give me the soapstone thingy? When does that happen? Later, I guess. Okay. Gotta admit, though, I kind of like some of the animations in this game, how smooth they are. Although, with the added floatiness of the controls, they just end up frustrating me. So, in the end, I end up getting kind of frustrated at them. Not kind of. I do end up getting frustrated at them. Quite frustrated. Like, see this? How I've got this to +3, and it's still taking 3 hits? Maybe it's because these guys have more health. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not an expert with this game. I think people get the impression that I am an expert with this game. I would not necessarily say I'm an expert with Dark Souls, but I would say I'm quite experienced with it. I'm very experienced with Dark Souls. I've got a lot of experience with it. And I think people misunderstand what that phrase means. What it means is that you've got a lot of experience. You've used it a lot. It doesn't even necessarily mean that you're the best at it or you're great, but you have experience, you know. It's not like you're a newbie. You could play a game 100 times and not be that great at it, but you're very experienced with it. So you know what's going on, you know what happens, you kind of have an idea of where stuff is and how to do things, even if you're not the most skilled at it. So amber herb, which we'll never need because we don't use the amber herb. Let me see if I can, oh shoot, I just reversed that. Let me see if I can equip a bow and arrow. Nah, can't use it. Okay, that sucks. I let them tackle that alone because the last thing I want is for me to fall off. That would end this little adventure. Hollow soldier shield and a halberd if you want one is right there. Whee! Alright, that was fun. Very exciting. Thrilled, in fact. This is not a bad shield. This is not a bad shield. It's one of the pre-order bonuses. Back when I used to pre-order games. Now, for the most part, I don't pre-order anything. For the most part, I don't pre-order anything. Now, I understand pre-ordering collector's editions, special editions, limited editions, or pre-ordering a game that is pre-order only, kind of like Xenoblade Chronicles was. When it came out in the US, it was listed as pre-order only. Of course, they always had a few extra copies, but it was listed as pre-order only. So I totally understand people pre-ordering those games. I don't fault them for that at all, and I've done it myself. So, you know, that is what it is. But other than that, you know, when we're talking about games like your Call of Duties and Bloodborne and things like that, when you know there's going to be plenty of copies, there always are. There's a variety of stores to buy them from, online, download. There's always going to be one available. There's just no reason to pre-order. There really isn't. And the pre-order bonuses are either so stupid that they're not worth even caring about, or they actually matter and they damage the game because they cause imbalances, you know. Then they're a problem. I just realized I have a whole bunch of souls on me that I really would rather not lose right now. I need to find one of those rings that lets me keep my souls. Oh, it's been a long time since I've fought this guy, so I don't really know what I'm doing. It's important to remember he does not put his foot down in the same place he picks it up. That's very important to realize. It's not like many of the enemies, like in Dark Souls, if they would stomp in the same spot that they picked their foot up from. Not the case here. He actually moves his foot. Okay, I'm going to go into slightly defensive mode. I just don't want to die right now with all these souls. And there we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We owned this part of the game. We steamrolled this, guys. We steamrolled this. Goodbye, Luke and Erave. Alright, I love how they give you more time in this game to give your little gestures to people. In Dark Souls, especially the Steam version now that it's using Steamworks, it's like boom, they're gone. As soon as the boss dies, they're gone. Like, you have to hit that gesture in like a second, otherwise they won't see it. It won't happen. It's locked. I love games where that like the character says that. Yeah, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there are these games out there where, you know, every time you try to open a door and it's locked, the character will be like, "It's locked." I don't know why, but I just find that funny. And then you can spam it, and he's like, "It's locked. It's locked. It's locked." Silly, obviously, but funny nonetheless. Give me your bow. Give me your bow. I think that's a longbow, right? I don't want to specialize on a short bow. There's really no reason to. It's just kind of like a weaker longbow for the most part. I would rather get a longbow, obviously. Give me a bow. Where the heck did you come from? Seriously, where did you come from? I don't ever remember seeing you here. This isn't an area for you. I'm being kind of stupid right now. I should just go, yeah, let's go straight to the bonfire. Let's stop screwing around here and end up losing 27,000 souls in Dark Souls 2. Souls in this game are valuable, I'm telling you. A lot of stuff is expensive, like your repair powder, fixing... Oh, did something break? What is that? Do I have something that's broken? No, what is that icon there? I don't know what that icon is. Do I have a broken ring? I don't know what that icon is. It looks like it's trying to indicate that something's broken. Let's travel back to Majula. I don't even remember. Did we have the music on for that boss fight? I can't even think if I heard the music or not. Let me double check here. Game options, music. Yeah, we did have the music on. I guess I just didn't notice it. That's fine. Reset Y-axis. Have that off. Camera auto, just turn that off. Cinematic effects off. Don't really know what that is entirely, but I don't think I want that. Jump controls always to B. And yeah, there we go. Let's upgrade first. I think we'll be able to make it to +4, I do believe. I guess you don't need embers in this game to upgrade, do you? No, you do. You do, okay. But you don't need an ember to make it to the large titanite. Okay. Now we need 2 large titanites, which I believe we're not going to be able to get for a while. Sorry, I forgot about that large titanite in that room. In fact, it's been a long time since I've even been in that secret room down there. It's not that secret, really, but I guess when it says it's locked, I usually give up and walk away. And I suppose hitting the door was me subconsciously realizing that that was how to open it. I just didn't consciously realize that. I tend to do that, just double check if I have a flash shard or not. Okay. What I'm gonna do now is... Hang on, let me see here. Because I can make it to 99 or 100, I'm going to very quickly Alt-Tab out. You'll see that happen. And while you're watching me, I'm going to type Dark Souls 2 Agility iframes. And I'm going to make sure that I'm picking the right one here. I don't want to waste any points. It's either 99 or 100, I believe. So let's see here. 99 gives you 12 iframes. 105 gives you 13 iframes. 114 gives you 15 iframes, and 116 gives you 16 iframes. I'm trying to think. I believe 99 is where I feel fairly comfortable. So I might... Oh, and 100 gives you an extra iframe for a backstep, but I typically don't use backsteps. So... let's go with 99 for now, and if we find that that's not enough, we'll get to 105. But 105 will take a little more, so I'd rather put some points into some stats to do some extra damage right now, as well as do we need endurance? Yeah, we need more stamina. We need more stamina. Yes, there we go. Stamina is some good stuff. All right, let's make sure that nothing's broken here. Yeah, what was that icon that I saw? Maybe it meant something was about to break? Something was low on the repair? I don't know. The icon's gone now from up on my screen, so that's that. And let's run and quickly check to see if anything else is available from this guy. I don't believe the Elite Knight armor set's available yet, but as soon as it is available, I'd like to grab it. Or start grabbing it. I know it costs quite a bit, so we probably won't have enough to buy it straight up at that point. We'll probably have to buy it in various pieces. Silver Eagle Kite Shield, we don't need. For 100%, is that 100%? No, it's 90, and that's 95. We can get a 100% block shield. It's fairly heavy, the Drangleic shield. We'll pick that up rather soon, so there's no point in worrying about buying a shield. We don't have the key for that area yet. We don't need to talk to Shalquar. So I think we've done everything here that we need to worry about. Not going to upgrade our armor or weapon, or shield. We're not going to use this shield. It's not our end shield, and this is not our in-game armor set. Elite Knight set is, as I mentioned before. Although, given how much... Let's see here. Actually, I got an idea. For future needs, let's just go ahead and buy up the Titanite that he has. Because we'll need it in the future. We'll buy what we can for now. Just to stack it up, so once we get the Elite Knight armor set, we can begin upgrading it. Wouldn't be a bad idea. And now we can start moving forward from the Cardinal Tower with the Soldier Key. I think this is called the Soldier Key. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and end episode number 2 of our Dark Souls 2 Revisited playthrough. As always, I'm Fox with Foxeo Plays. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. You can also subscribe to my main channel, FoxeoGames, where I do reviews and commentary. This is, of course, my Let's Play only channel. And if there's anything you'd like to see, you can always let me know in the comment section below. It is super useful when you leave comments. I love reading them. I read them all. Make sure to rate the video if you liked it or disliked it. Either way, it's fine by me. I'd prefer a like, obviously, but, you know, if you want to give it a dislike, you can do that too. And follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with me and chat and whatnot. I love Twitter. It's how I like to keep up with all of my subscribers. I prefer Twitter, even to the comment section on YouTube. But don't let that stop you from leaving a comment. I will see you guys next time in episode number 3 of our Dark Souls 2 Revisited playthrough. Later, everybody.